Hey, United Countrymen, what a crazy run this has been in the news and events taking place during this Trump administration. I got a story for you today. I think some of it's going to be common sense, or maybe some of it will be things that you haven't thought of. They are affecting your life every day, your mood. You know that words and thoughts and energy create your outcome in life. You know, in the Bible, it talks about as a man thinketh, so is he. Why do you think the news spends so much time making sure things get in front of you, that ideas and thoughts and emotions cloud your brain every day towards trying to figure out reality? The main one in the news that keeps gaining steam is the one about the disappearance of Charlie Kirk. Do I know what happened to him? No. Do I think things went down the way we thought we saw them on the YouTube? No. Or the televised events? No, I don't think so at all. I know from as far back as 20 years ago that they have advanced technology to make things look real, like AI movies, but it's been around 20 years or more. Just what's reaching the public right now is new to us. So what you think and thought you saw very well could have been a holographic image or something else. It was all too bizarre. I think I went through a video naming almost 200 anomalies that were not normal to understand. What's going on right now is the bread and circuses between TP USA, Erica Kirk, and Candace Owens. And it began, Candace Owens thing and all that began to what I believed was an unveiling of secrets that people shouldn't know. And what I'm starting to think what it really is from over 20 years of studying this kind of stuff, I'm believing now what you're looking at is a battle for the Protestant church and the capturing of the conservative uh, masses of the United States, because this organization in the back end was much more politically, military, industrial, complex, connected, Freemason stuff. Who knows? The outward viewpoint on it, what you think it is or thought it was, as this simple organization going campus to campus, uh, was really some kind of back end company front for publicizing and uh, big money swaying. Like, gosh, it's hard to even say it without getting in trouble here. Anyway, the organization was much more than you think it is, and you think that this organization, or a lot of people think, obviously by filling up stadiums full of people, naively believing that this was an unfortunate event to innocent people, but they have no idea that what's really going on is this is all some kind of bread and circuses and a front, and you have two warring factions. I believe the warring factions trying to capture the American Protestant conservative church and conservative movement. What you're looking at on the right, Candace Owens, who represents the Catholic Jesuit order, and she married, her husband is high up in that, against the Erica Kirk owned and controlled Israel Zionist movement, all working to try to capture the conservative Christian Protestant United States. They're trying to capture them for whatever means, for money, for lobbying, for control of, and the organization itself is a front for that. That's my opinion, so I can have it. But I believe what you're seeing here, of course, we know that by lots of proof by now, TPUSA had heavy influence from billionaire Jewish backers. And in case you don't realize it, billionaire Jewish backers don't tend to fund Christian organizations because they believe in Jesus and want to promote that cause. What they pay for it for is to get naive Christians to join and sway their mindset to get them to become Judeo-Christians, which is an oxymoron. The two do not go together. Like it's like the scribes and Pharisees joining Jesus. It didn't happen. They're two exactly opposite belief systems. I'm sorry, Christians, for the past 80 years during this movement, you have been fooled. I was fooled for a while. It's time for you to wake up. Over 109 countries realized this and had to throw them out because of the subversion. They're experts at it. And so what's happened is they take over places like Turning Point USA or, maybe Ben Shapiro and that whole, and every main great big organization you can think of that's highly publicized is a front for this lobbying group to sway, for some reason, Christians into giving up their lives in a war or for giving money to support this growing nation. And myself, I cannot do it because I am anti-Satanism. So therefore, you have that side of it. The other side is Candace Owens. And if you haven't figured it out yet, imagine yourself, even if you had all day long, could you gather information yourself personally, or even if you had a couple people you knew, as in-depthly as the CIA or an entire news organization? Could you have investigative reporters, inside people, track people down, get information that seems almost uncanny? Nobody is thinking about, where is Candace Owens getting all this information? Well, if Candace Owens is Catholic and her husband is high up in that order, then probably what's happening in this war is Candace is being fed very special information by CIA level, CIA level people that have information and dirt on other people. And of course, that would be the Catholic Church's main thing for 1,000 years or more now, is information gathering and subversion on that level. So you have two subvertive groups. I'm sorry, Catholics, to say that, but it's a well-known fact amongst these governments. And so you're looking at Zionists warring against Catholics right now, secretly, all to gain the Christian Protestant masses to follow them, fund them, believe in what they're saying, and do what they want them to do. I'm sorry you don't realize that yet, but I think you will. I'm going to give you a tool now, and this tool is going to explain it all. 20 years of research explaining everything. You'll never have to doom scroll the internet. You'll never have to question. You'll never have to worry about stuff the way you did and like, why is it so confusing? I don't get it. This book right here, it's called Reason to Believe, and you can find it on Amazon. One, they hid the millennial kingdom of Christ, and this is how Satan's deception and how he deceives the whole world through these different hierarchical organizations, these secret societies and things. This is extensive notes. I call it a book, but really it's insider notes and information. This is stuff that was gathered before the internet went censored. This is highly, you'll find stuff in here that you can't believe even exists that you don't know about. It's like, this is impossible that I don't know this. Surely someone would tell us. And no, they wouldn't. It's the world, like in the Matrix, it's the world that was pulled over your eyes. That book, Reason to Believe, you'll find it on Amazon. It's by Daniel Collier. And it's something that every Protestant Christian needs to read. I guarantee you there will be almost no one, zero people who read this, whoever will get fooled again by these mass events that take place, by these media circuses and hoaxes that go on. It's absolutely vital for you to, I don't care who you are, if you just read it once, you need to know this so you understand life and what's going on in America and the rest of the world. It proves to you without a shadow of a doubt that conspiracy stuff is not kooky. It's absolutely real, but it's far deeper than you think. But it takes it on in a way in which it deals with it personally. It shows you the obvious stuff, but it deals with it in a way in which it affects your personal life and how to prevent it from taking over or keeping you under this mental control system. And I don't care how deep a Christian you are, it is, because I have friends, 20 years, they've been a Christian, had no idea this stuff was going on, even within churches. People had no idea that, there are cult groups, witches and things that'll sneak into the church. Even some of them will be pastors. They had no idea how to figure out what's going on. I mean, before I knew all this stuff, I was fooled by a pastor, kept me in the whole support Zionism movement for many years. I was completely brainwashed by that because I trusted leaders and I believed that I was doing the will of God and I didn't want to upset him. When the real factor was, like, the people who are going and following Erica Kirk now and feeling like she's a victim and all sad, when in fact within 3 or 4 days she did maneuvers to make about $7 million off of her husband's death. So in these apps that this organization, like you download an app, these Christian apps or conservative apps, they have no idea that they're tracking apps to track all the stuff you're saying and doing, where you're traveling, sending it back to Israel. Oh, does that sound like something a Christian organization would be doing who really cared about you? Now, this is my opinion. My opinion. You don't have to sue me. Don't get all huffy, Erica, like you're getting at CANDACE. But I think it's bread and circuses. It may be very well that even it's a big show. Erica Kirk and Candace Owen are putting on a show. It's possible. This is how deep these levels of things go. So this is intellectual stuff. This book is dealing with things. You can read it. You don't have to be a super genius, but it's intellectual stuff that the average person eating his Oreo cookies and watching the ball game isn't going to take time to think about. But you're awake. You realize things with elections. You realize things with this whole last thing where they wanted you to take all these shots and stuff. If you're awake to that level, you'll be able to get all this. But I guarantee you, it will be exciting. This book right here, it's exciting. It's definitely shocking. And it's eye-opening. And it's extremely life-changing in a positive way if you know how to handle it. That means prepare yourself when you read this book to have to sit back a few times and maybe read the page over again and be like, wait, what? There's two, such as 9/11. I think I have 2 pages of just numerology stuff they used as a type of witchcraft surrounding the whole entire event, that people that don't understand how they use gematria and all that was encoded in everything. Going back 20 years before the event ever happened, they planned this. Before they built the towers, they planned all of this stuff out, just perfected it on the way. By knowing this, it allows you now to understand events that are occurring currently. And because you can understand that, you don't get the wool pulled over your eyes anymore. The minute this Charlie Kirk event took place, I was like, this is fake. Something here. What's going on with this? This isn't right. First of all, you wouldn't get to see that on the internet. The whole, only in movies do you get to see fake, like John F. Kennedy stuff. They blurted that out. You're not going to get to see this kind of stuff live. But if it's fake, well, they can show it. That's legal, just like in a movie or a horror movie. I hope that makes sense to you. So anyway, I wanted to do this short video because I was trying to help a lot of people gather their gather their thoughts together to understand, one, it's not normal for Erica Kirk to lose her husband cared about him so much, and then start talking about seemingly more importantly, the continuation of his company and the dreams, and then start doing press conferences nonstop now. It seems like you'd have a chief of operations or, Charlie's right-hand man who would take over for a little while doing press announcements, some talks, just letting the press and people know what's going on with the company. No, she hasn't even taken a break. And she's full on like nothing ever happened and just acting stuff out like, oh, so emotional with always with the prop. Give me a break. I haven't seen that since Gone with the Wind or some old 1940s movie where they're like, using, oh, boo-hoo, and the towel. Give me a break with that. That's, people just do this now if they're crying. They don't carry around a tear napkin as a prop. And my other thing, which I told you, Candace Owens, she's getting, you can't explain this away. She's getting way too much intel for her and maybe a team of people who are just like you and me to gather this kind of info she's spitting out. Where is it coming from? Only people who have massive amounts of money, and I know she's wealthy, but they're not spending it on that. I mean, to go up against a president of France and his wife to take that on and get insider information. How do you get so big? It's just you're only getting in front of all these people, millions and millions of views, and showing up on everyone's feeds only if you have high influence putting you out there in front of people. I know I've been doing this for a while. I don't have a $1 million promotions campaign behind me to make sure that I get on the white list of these social media channels, right? But I just wanted to put it out there so some of you can clear your minds in a way. Maybe you can share this video with someone who's all like up Erica Kirk's hoopty-doopty here, thinking she's like the greatest thing ever and the strong mother and the strong victim who's taking on the great challenge and keeping America going. And, people already started, as soon as this happened, people started talking about her being vice president. And, we already know J.D. Vance is going to get the big push after Trump. And Erica Kirk's now getting all this super boosted information and super boosted media campaigns and showing up all. I listened to an interview of a person who used to work. They never used to see her. She'd go on to Charlie Kirk's talk show, but they never used to see her around there. Only maybe once a year or something they'd see her, and all of a sudden now she's running the show like she's been hands-on with everything forever. I don't know, man. It's just, you're probably a pretty smart person. It's just too bizarre, all of that. But a lot of people won't wake up. It'll take them a long time, and then they'll switch to a new narrative. Some big event will come along, and this will disappear. So anyway, think about it. Erica Kirk, Zionist movement, trying to win over the Protestant American church to support Israel, and they're afraid of losing their funding. So she's out there in tight leather pants and all that kind of stuff, winning over people's naive minds, the naive Christian. Candace Owens is the Catholic on the other side, trying to win over the Protestant Christian. to the Catholic side, showing that so there's a battle going on. Whether it's real or fake, it's still affecting your mind and your thoughts, your attitude and your nervous system, and your trust in the United States of America. And that's the purpose of a lot of these things and these organizations, to break that down so they can get control and then build it up into their favor. And your job is to recognize all of it and tell them to go stuff it where the sun don't shine. Anyway, guys, that's the end of the video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Get that book. You will be amazed. There's nobody in America that shouldn't read that book at least one time. It will change the landscape. The knowledge in there will change the landscape of everything that happens in your life from this point on. See you later. This is Dan Collier for the United Countrymen. Check out the description below for links to this and also to a special program we're having this month where we're teaching you, once you understand and once you wake up to things going on, even after you read this book, you absolutely, and I'm telling you for this from experience, because in the early days when I started trying to wake everybody up about circumstances and certain things going on, it wrecked my entire life. The forces that be, even in simple people's lives, in their human resources departments, it's already been pre-programmed that if you talk about certain things, especially waking people up to reality, they're already prepared to destroy you. And I created, I've got a program, short teaching from the United Countrymen University, teaching you how to keep things off the record. Doesn't mean keeping you silent, but it teaches you how to survive, waking up, having knowledge, and how to share it with people so that you don't end up getting crucified. Because trust me, fellas, trust me, girls, they are waiting to destroy your life. They'll take off your bank account, can't buy or sell stuff. They'll shut you down in so many ways, and you don't even realize it because they're working in the back end. They're already prepared. They even got your Aunt Nellie so brainwashed in her liberal understanding of stuff that you can't even sit down at Christmas dinner or Thanksgiving dinner and have a conversation and stuff where she's not already waiting to be hostile towards simple things. That's the way it works in this matrix system. Anyway, I'll rambled on long enough. I hope you enjoy it. Get that book because it will transform your life, help support our ministry. And then get this course. I'm telling you, get this course because it is so vitally needed. You don't understand yet that the things you're saying and the actions you're taking and the way you're going about it has already been pre-predicted. They already understand thousands of years of human psychology, and they're waiting for you to trip up. So certain things start ruining your life. I know people who got into divorce because they didn't know how to handle this kind of stuff and how to talk about it to their husband who wasn't woke yet, or their wife who hadn't awakened yet. And they just wanted to share it so bad. Very important. You can lose your finances, everything. All right, that's it for today. I hope you had fun joining me. If you did, please leave a comment. Let me know how you feel about what we're talking about, or like our video. And especially if there's any content in here that you need to share with Aunt Nellie, maybe her and her cats can sit down and listen to it. All right, that's it for today. See you guys.